All right, so let me bring in Wakili, that is Danstan Omari, not a new face here on KTN News Center. Anytime you want the legal mind, the legal perspective, and a political analyst perspective, you can see him right there ready to have this discussion with us. Wakili, the smile on your face, I'm so sure you're smiling about that introduction, but then let's get into business. Good morning. I mean, we are talking about first members of parliament of the Joint Legal Affairs Committee not having an agreement, wanted to amend this document, and then finally there's light at the end of the tunnel. What does this mean, for the future of, not really for the future, but the way forward in terms of amending the Constitution?
Thank you, Brenda, and viewers of KTN News. The question that has been put to me, I look at it from three angles. One, the political angle, and surrounding politics. Two, the legal and constitutional that is the law being followed, the law being accepted in courts. And third, we look at other factors that have now come in to form the BBI. There's a question about COVID and other issues. Brenda, when we look at the timeline under the BBI, the timelines of June having a referendum is totally an ambitious timeline that cannot be achieved. The reason being that Parliament has closed, Parliament is on recess, and there seems to be a lot of political war between ODM and the wing of Uhuru Kenyatta, that the Kieleweke team. When we look at COVID, Brenda, COVID is the final decider whether we will have BBI or not. Why? One, it is only COVID which is a factor that will determine whether Parliament is going to be open. Two, it is only COVID that is going to say whether the political process, a referendum, is a people-driven process. Mm-hmm. There must be campaign. It is COVID that is going to decide whether that economy is going to happen and people are going to mix. Third, COVID is going to decide how many politicians, already we've lost more than 7 members of parliament of this parliament. How many are going to go? How many leaders will fall by COVID? And how many will survive? Mm-hmm. That might dramatically change.
All right.
What not clear is rumored change the politics of succession in Tanzania and quite other countries.
All right, but
where we are, and lastly, Brenda, the last question that will determine whether we are going to see BBI. There are judgments they are waiting from the High Court. That judgment has 9 cases. We have another case in Kakamega. What will be the decision of the High Court? Mm-hmm. Any party that is going to succeed or fail will go to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal, this matter must land before the Supreme Court.
All right.
Those processes, Brenda, will take up to next year or close of December.
But then, Wakili,
the courts, are we likely to get those courts sitting?
But then, Wakili, yes, you're talking about the country not ready for a referendum come June this year because of funding. Indeed, it's true, because even when you look at the budget for the physical budget for the year 2021, 2022, yeah, we're in 2022, no money has been allocated to fund the BBI program, referendum, yet that is something that the IEBC is keenly waiting for. And what the proposal IEBC put forth, the ODM party leader Raila Odinga came out and said that this is too much. We can use about 2 billion shillings only. This 2 billion shillings is a lot of money because, again, within the ODM party leadership, they're saying, let's use this money, to fight COVID-19.
Brenda, I'll tell you that was a political gimmick. Kenya was negotiating with the IMF for a loan. If you look at item number 3, the conditionalities of and then they were discussing on the question of structure of government and governance structures. That is the referendum. There is a concerted effort to utilize the COVID funds that are coming, the 37 billion shillings, for the referendum. Remember, Baba and the president are brothers in politics. They will make a supplementary budget that will go to Parliament, and Parliament will be recalled within a day. Remember the members of Parliament, they will be told, pass this budget. So we are likely to see the budget being passed. But the other condition, money is not an issue. They will not money. They will not money because the schools are closed and said teachers don't need to be paid salary, doctors don't need to be paid salary. The money now, the priority is COVID. The questions I've raised, the fundamental structure, that is what Baba and his brother, His Excellency the President, is. And that is why. And lastly, Brenda, there has been a petition. Yesterday, I was watching KTN News, the petition to petition IMF not to release the money. Yesterday, I had 14,000 people. It is picking up. Kenyans are rebelling. How do you hold money for COVID? Then you take that money for...
But then, Wakili will have to agree with me, because the road to amending the Constitution, some sections, let me put it clearly, some sections of the Constitution has not been an easy one, because even having the referendum bill has not seen the light of the day. And then now again, we were here talking about, the Joint Legal Affairs Committee, the Senate and the Parliament and the National Assembly's Legal Affairs Committee sitting down, others saying we need to amend this bill. Yet it's a popular initiative that cannot be amended because Parliament is acting like it's a ceremonious exercise. So are we likely to go for a referendum without the bill?
Remember, Brenda, we don't have the referendum law, either by design or by accident. I think it is by design, so that you cannot challenge that referendum in any court of law, because there cannot be anything contrary to a section of the law. But remember, the Constitution has not been overthrown. We have the Constitution. Number 2, the members of Parliament who are making votes, ODM wing, they were making noise because the money that used to come from government to ODM, the pipe has gone dry. Now that the pipe has been restored, forcing even His Excellency to go and wake up Baba from bed and tell him, Baba, no, we have resolved that issue. Money will come. Let's go to the street where everything looks modern. I think the politics outsmart the legal issues in these issues. And lastly, are they ready to face the citizens? Because the citizens will go out. MCS were bribed. Parliaments will be passed. Are they ready to bribe the citizens who have lost who have nothing to it, who feel that the government has lost touch with them? The referendum is likely to fail.
All right, Wakili.
Are they ready to vote? I don't think.
All right, Wakili, you know at that point, I don't want to be the devil's advocate, but I remember MC saying that they were not bribed. That grant, the grant they were given, it was not a bribe. But then Wakili, just stay with me, don't go away, because I need us to look at another story that we need to have a conversation with you about, where the debate has emerged about the likelihood of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga reuniting with his estranged 2017 coalition partners that have since collapsed under the One Kenya Alliance. Not actually collapsed, but come under the One Kenya Alliance. Now, this follows some of the parties, the ANC party leader, that is Musalia Mudavadi's statement that the alliance was hunting for like-minded partners. So what hinders Odinga from reuniting with his 2017 partners? And how would this reunion affect the 2022 Kenyatta succession politics? KTN senior political reporter Murimi Mwangi interrogates.
All those that we have filtered there. When ODM party leader Raila Odinga's 2017 coalition partners Musalia Mudavadi of ANC, Wiper's Kalonzo Musyoka and Fort Kenya's Moses Wetangula announced plans to chart a new political course dubbed the One Kenya Alliance, alongside KANU National Chairman Gideon Moi. It came with a fair share of reported sour grapes from Chungwa House, as the former Prime Minister's troops sought to downplay Odinga's fallout with his former allies.
The people who have gone into coalitions with ODM in the past have cannibalized ODM, that we have lost ground because of our association with certain people, especially because we went for coalitions with political parties that exist in our own strongholds.
It turns out a reunion of Odinga with his 2017 coalition partners is not as far-fetched as Odinga allies would have Kenyans believe. Mudavadi, who claims credit for conceptualizing the 2017 National Super Alliance NASA, under which Odinga flew the presidential flag, is now putting out calls for like-minded allies to rally behind his latest baby, the One Kenya Alliance.
This is an emerging process. It's a conversation. It has just started. And in this conversation, we are saying that it is not a closed shop. Because as we move to 2022, we are going to see new political formations.
Odinga's allies have been critical of Mudavadi, Wetangula and Musyoka since they skipped Odinga's controversial 2018 oathing ceremony at Uhuru Park. Ironically, ODM, ANC, Wiper and Fort Kenya are still bound to the 2017 NASA agreement, while Senator Moi is bound to the KANU Jubilee post-election coalition agreement, both documents still in the hands of the registrar of political parties. The emerging formations coming hot on the heels of Deputy President William Ruto's indication that he did not mind working with Odinga.
Mahali ninakubaliana na former Prime Minister. Yeye kama vile mimi tunaamini katika chama ya kitaifa. Wale ambao hatuwezi kukubaliana na wao ni wale wanataka kuturudisha katika vyama vya kikabila.
Alliances will be formed after BBI, and that is when they will be clear. There is no alliance in this country that has ever been formed more than 6 months before election. Whether it was the 2002 election, whether it was the 2007 election, or even 2013, 2017, alliances are formed towards just prior to election.
We are open to talk to other people who may wish to be part of this conversation. All right? What is going to be key at the end of the day is what are the issues that we are putting on the table.
Odinga is yet to formally announce his candidature for the 2022 contest, with his ODM party recently denouncing a statement from its National Election Board that had listed the former Prime Minister among applicants for the party's ticket as an April Fool's Day prank, and with the proponents of the Kenyatta Odinga-led Building Bridges initiative rooting for completion of the process, including a likely referendum before the end of the year. More alignments and realignments will no doubt be on the cards as 2022 looms. Muromi Mwangi, KTN News.
All right, so now a bit of some politics still on 2022 general elections, forming of alliances and political parties just to see who carry the day. And so let me continue having this conversation with Danstan Omari, a political analyst who's also an advocate. Wakili, let me just, I don't know if you've seen today's Standard on page 8. Let me just give a quote of some of the two lawmakers, what they've said. I'll begin with Makueni Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr., who said there is no guarantee that after Uhuru, the NASA principals will inherit the primary support base of Jubilee. So whichever way you look at it, they would need each other. Then I have NC-nominated Member of Parliament Godfrey Otsotsi saying that I do not think Raila's support can be sourced through such methods. You know, methods of forming alliances that One Kenya Alliance appears to be engaged in. Raila still controls a large constituency. Then finally, Makueni MP Daniel Manzo says there is no single vote that Raila will get from the Jubilee stronghold. The only allies Raila has are his partners in NASA. It is him who needs the team more than the team needs him. So clearly, it means for all these people who are forming alliances to win the support base of all the millions of Kenyans across the country, across all the 47 counties, they have to go to the support base of the opposition strong base and also the Jubilee strong base?
What is there is that each person, each member of parliament you have mentioned are talking from two sides of the mouth. The reality is, Brenda, and Kenyans, this is the reality. For you to mount a presidential candidate, you need around, in 2022, over 20 to 30 or 50 billion shillings. The only contenders who might be near that are three: Baba, Gideon Moi, and the Deputy President William Ruto. The others are pretenders.
Why are you calling them
Financially,
pretenders?
they cannot mount a financial campaign of a presidential caliber. And they know it. And that is why they have formed a new alliance to get some of the money from President Uhuru Kenyatta's government to fund. If they can't run a national campaign, they run their village campaigns from where they come from. Mm-hmm. Because even you've seen the by-elections that we did, Musalia had to look for state support and the support of Gideon Moi to campaign in his constituents where he won. Wetangula had to do the same. Kalonzo had to do the same in Machakos, Senator. So financially, that is the question that will reach on the table. They'll be asked, una pesa ngapi ya campaign?
But then,
hauna. We saw that in 2002 when Uhuru Kenyatta, a novice, was given a ticket because he could be able to fight. Because the other two guys who were the other side was Kibaki and Nyacha, a billionaire. A campaign is not a joke, Brenda.
But then
two.
Wakili, but then Wakili, allow me to cut you short. Okay, finish.
Yes.
Just finish, Wakili. Then I'll ask my question.
Number two, Brenda, Raila Odinga realized that his pockets were drowned in 2013, 2017. He had to enter into a handshake to replenish his resources. The deputy president has realized that he must go slow in giving his handouts because 2022 is a very expensive affair. Right. So in my own view, I think that is why I agree that the only coalition that will contest for elections will be known in March or in April next year. So Wakili, now, guys are looking for money.
Right, those are your sentiments. At that point, I have to say the sentiments of those are your sentiments. They not represent the sentiments of KTN News, sent here on KTN News. But then, Wakili, so you do agree then with Honorable John Badi, who is the ODM chairperson, and that the formation of these alliances are just too early. We are likely to see a breakup even before the next general election.
I agree with him, Badi, totally. And I advise him, because he is watching now and listening, that they must also demolish ODM. In these multi-party elections, every party that wins power is created a few days, 3 to 4 months before elections. They have retained ODM from when it started, and that's why they have never won elections. So once they disband ODM, craft a new political vehicle for the purpose of winning elections, they might win.
But then, Wakili, that is the same thing ODM party has been talking about, you know, sort of like saying we are not even somehow, we're going to work with like-minded parties. So why do you think ODM party is still sort of trying to shelve, to protect his political move, the next move that they're about to make? Yet we see the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, Gideon Moi, and also Moses Wetangula coming together way early just to tell, you know, the likes of Raila Odinga that this is the formation of a political vehicle for next year?
If ODM tries to pull the one Kenya alliance into ODM, they will ask for their money. ODM receives money on behalf of them, but does not give them. So ODM has a strategy to keep them off until 2022 March, when they'll be brought, because out of desperation, they will not be able to fund their elections. So ODM is financially and economically selfish to keep the money for themselves. Number two, ODM cannot agree to be number two to William Ruto. And William Ruto, by law and by statute, he cannot be a deputy president in the ballot next year. He must be either a president.
All right. Looks like we've lost Danstan Omari, a legal expert, a legal mind, a political analyst who's talking to us about the formation of political alliances come next year's general election. You've heard it from him. It's too early to form them. We just have to wait and see what will transpire at the end of the day. So I believe from my director's direction, we need to take a short commercial break here on KTN News Center, 10:26. I'll be right back with more news making the headlines. So keep it KTN News.